Aaron Berger refers to himself as a foreclosure prevention attorney. He specializes in helping clients facing the unimaginable loss of their homes due to the deceptive practices of the mortgage lenders. Aaron genuinely cares about his clients and feels compelled to protect them from being bullied by the big banks. Let's meet Aaron Berger. Hello, Aaron, and thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Please sit down. So tell me, Aaron, how did you get into the law business?
Well, I've wanted to be a lawyer since as long as I can remember, since I was a child. In fact, my father is a lawyer, my aunt is a lawyer, my grandfather's a lawyer,
wow,
and my grandma's a retired judge. I knew I wanted to help people, but I just didn't know exactly which field of law I wanted to specialize in. About 8 years ago, I started working for a foreclosure prevention company that specialized in short sales and loan modifications while simultaneously going to law school at Southwestern at night. I saw firsthand while I was working there the deceptive practices of the banks. I watched as they would manufacture foreclosures by instructing the clients to cease paying their mortgage simply so they could be considered for a loan modification. And by doing so, they were able to foreclose on the homes. I realized then that when I got out of law school, this is what I wanted to do. And coincidentally, the year I graduated, California came out with a new law called the California Homeowners Bill of Rights. And I knew right there that I had to study that law and that that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to help people by saving them their homes.
Well, what is the California Homeowners Bill of Rights?
So the California Homeowner Bill of Rights was passed in January of 2013. It was aimed at reforming the California foreclosure process. The purpose of it was to protect homeowners and to make it more fair so that they could not get foreclosed on without proper warning, proper notice, and making sure that they were considered for foreclosure prevention opportunities, such as a loan modification or a short sale.
What's the most common violation of the California Homeowners Bill of Rights?
The most common violation of the California Homeowner Bill of Rights that I see is called dual tracking. Now, dual tracking is prevented by the California Homeowner Bill of Rights. Dual tracking basically means that a bank cannot advance foreclosure proceedings against a homeowner if they are currently being reviewed for a foreclosure prevention alternative. For example, if a homeowner submits a full application for a loan modification, the bank must cease all foreclosure activity whatsoever. If they advance the foreclosure at all while the loan mod is in review, I say loan mod, which is industry term for loan modification, then that is a violation of dual tracking.
Well, what do you do exactly to help these homeowners?
Well, what I do is I take a meeting with a client, a potential client. I review the facts. I review any documentation that they have, and then I make a determination to see if they have a good case against the banks. Then I will file a lawsuit against the bank. I will sue them for various violations of the California Homeowner Bill of Rights, but I don't stop there. I also add causes of action for fraud, breach of contract, negligence, and other common law causes of action, and I always ask for punitive damages. 6 to 12 months during litigation, I will start approaching the banks or their attorneys and start talking settlement. I aim to get a cash payment to my clients, as well as a loan modification or another foreclosure prevention alternative. I've been doing this for 2 years, and I have a 100% success rate. I have not had one client lose their home under my watch.
Wow, so it really is for the long term, that where your clients, the idea is that your clients are not only going to have a smooth exit from the home, in fact, they're not going to have an exit for the home, they're going to be able to stay and get on with their lives.
Exactly.
What advice can you give someone who's facing foreclosure?
The best advice I could give someone is to make sure to keep accurate records of every document, every correspondence they receive from the bank, and also to keep good notes of any phone conversation that they've had with the banks. Now, it's important that the homeowner know that once a notice of default is filed, the bank cannot foreclose on you for at least another 3 months. And then after the 3 months expires, they still have to file what's called a notice of trustee sale. Once the notice of trustee sale is filed, the bank has 21 days before they can actually take your home. So if you are in that situation, I would strongly suggest that you contact a foreclosure prevention attorney and see if he can help you.
Is there ever a case where there's really nothing you can do for that client, that he's got to face the fact that he's going to lose his home, or is there always something you can do?
Well, it is a possibility that the client won't be able to get a loan modification, but there's always the last what I call plan B, is you can short sell the house and still avoid getting the foreclosure on the record. You will, yes, lose your home, but you can at least go on with your life without having the stigma that you're involved in a foreclosure.
And I guess there are times when it's really to the client's advantage to lose the home. If he's way underwater or something with it, you know, it might be in his best interest to lose the home and then get a fresh start.
That's very true. And sometimes the homeowner has to make an economical decision rather than an emotional decision, because homeowners are very attached to their homes. Some of them have been there for many years. They could have had it passed down from their parents or from generations thereon. And it's hard to let go, but sometimes it is the wise economical decision.
But either way, what a relief it must be for a client in that position of about to lose his home, or again, whether it's to his advantage or not, to get with you and just start some type of process that could get his life back on track, because, as I've mentioned before, in situations like these, it just weighs on that client so heavily that they really can't enjoy any aspect of their lives. I would think even having a consultation with you, and when they leave that office, at least they know they're doing something, and it's kind of they're starting on that road towards getting their lives back.
And that is what I aim to do.
Well, thank you, Aaron. I know you're doing it well, so sure appreciate you coming in. Your contact information is up on the screen, and really encourage anyone who is in that position, these things weighing on them, to get with you, so I know you'll take great care of them.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Aaron.